All right, how we doing, everybody? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, and in this video, just giving you guys some college football bets to lock in for Championship Saturday. Unfortunately, the slate of games is not quite as good as it was last week when we had some pretty awesome games, most notably, obviously, Michigan, Ohio State. But we still do have some really good games this week, and regardless, it doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, not necessarily, it doesn't matter at all how good the game is. It just matters the value you can find, and you can find value on smaller games. So either way, all bets are created equal, and we're going to start locking some in. So the first one that I'm going to lock in here is the Ohio money line against Toledo. We're getting this at plus 115 odds at Caesars. The OddsJam Nova odds price this at about plus 113 and a half, plus 114 if you want to round up. And all in all, equates to a profit margin of about just below 1%, 0.68%. So a couple things to note here. Number one, obviously the most important thing to note is the no vig odds. These numbers and these odds are pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world in terms of pricing odds. So OddsJam back tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities, just trying to determine what sportsbooks do the best job at pricing odds, right? That's literally all they were trying to do. And they were able to accomplish this by back testing all these opportunities and then just collecting the data from there. So once they collected all that data and made that determination, they removed the VIG from all of those sharp sportsbooks to kind of set the market for future betting opportunities. Basically, long story short, saying, hey, historically, these X amount of sportsbooks do the best job at pricing odds. So we're going to use them to set the market moving forward, and we're going to find betting opportunities where we are getting better odds than those sharp sportsbooks. So, hey, it should be priced one way. In this case, Caesars is giving it to us a different way at plus 115. That's a good betting opportunity. So that's kind of the math behind it. Of course, anybody looking at the page can immediately see, oh, no vig odds, bet that I should place, EV percent within 4 seconds. The additional research that I recommend doing is if you just click open a positive expected value play, it pulls up kind of across the board where every sportsbook prices this. And we're just trying to see, is the positive EV play that we are placing, is it profitable? Is it an outlier across all the other sportsbooks or not? In this case, and I guess I'll preface this real quick with a money line play for, not that this is a huge college football game, but it's getting a decent enough action. Any mainline bet, spread, total, money line, is going to have so much action that the smaller edges you find are going to be more valuable. So with a market as heavily bet as money line odds, the more money comes in, the tighter the lines are. So these lines are all going to be pretty tight, but getting a little bit of an outlier here, the Caesars at plus 115, is a good price. So looking across the board, DraftKings is a little bit closer at plus 110. They have it 5 cents off. But look at every other book, plus 105, plus 106, plus 100. And then the two main sports books that we're looking at here to set the lines, the two of the sharpest ones, is BetOnline, which has this at plus 100. That's a good sign. And then Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sports book in the world, has this at plus 104. That's an even better sign. So the fact that this is an outlier compared to the holistic betting market, and the fact that it's an outlier to BetOnline and Pinnacle, tells me that this is a good bet. So this is going to be my first of, I think, three are the bets that I'm going to have for today. Ohio money line against Toledo. Next up, we are looking at we're looking at an over in Southern versus Jackson State. Jackson State so the bet on this one is at plus 102. The OddsJam no vig line prices this at about plus 101 and a half. So small gap, but still a gap nonetheless between these two numbers. And then as you can see, most books have this for pretty much even money across the board, right? Like when you see a sportsbook have the same odds for the over and the under, in this case it's pretty much minus 110 across the board, what that sportsbook is telling you is that they think that it's a 50-50 outcome in terms of the over or the under. So they don't know what's more likely. They don't know if the over or the under is more likely. So they're going to price it even each way, minus 110 each way. They're not favoring a certain side. Pinnacle is slightly favoring the under, at minus 106 versus minus 110, but every other book has it for even money, and FanDuel is giving it to us at plus 102. So if you're thinking about this, let's pretend we live in a simulation and this game is played 1,000 times. Every sportsbook pretty much is telling you 50% of the time it's going to go over, 50% of the time it's going to go under. We're not really sure, half and half. But the odds that we are getting it at FanDuel at plus 102, if it does in fact hit 50% of the time, we are making money from that interaction because of the fact that we are getting plus 102 odds. So plus 102 above 50% means we're being profitable. So that's why I like this one. It's a good math play. Southern versus Jackson State over 50.5 plus 102 at FanDuel. And then the last play, so there's two options here, depending on how safe or risky you want to go. We're looking at LSU versus Georgia, and we're backing LSU at either 17.5 or 19.5. And this is a good way to kind of tell people my thought process during situations like this. So there's a couple different options here. Option number one, you bet both. And you say, hey, positive EV is positive EV. And yeah, I might get screwed if Georgia wins by 20. I get screwed. I lose both of these bets. But more often than not, LSU will cover the 17.5, which means they will cover the 19.5. And that'll happen enough times to be profitable over the course of time, right? We're not trying to make money one individual day. We're trying to make money over the course of time. So if every single time you see multiple spreads, positive expected value, and you bet every single one, if it hits 60% of the time, 55% of the time, whatever, you're going to be making money. So that's one option. Option number two, you take the one with the highest EV percent. Now these are obviously a little bit smaller, still good plays, but a little bit smaller at 0.21 and 0.111. You just say, hey, you know what? The play that has the most value is the play with the highest expected value. That's the one I'm going to take. That's a great option. Nothing wrong with that. Another thing you can do, and I don't talk about market width a ton anymore because we kind of changed the format, or we changed the calculation of how we calculate EV, which makes the sold number of market width not as valuable of a data point because the market width is factored in now with everything. But if you want to just take the one with the tightest market width, you could do that as well. Market width, for those of you who haven't watched a video in a while, it's basically the smaller this number equals more confidence in what the market, it's what the sportsbook is pricing this, in this case, Pinnacle. So this number being at 15 is a really, really low number. So that's one option. You take the tightest market width. Now in this case, both the highest EV percent and the tightest market width is this LSU plus 17.5, plus 100 at FanDuel. So that is what I'm going to go with. This is going to be my official bet, LSU plus 17.5, plus 100 odds at FanDuel. No vig line has this at about minus 100.5. We're getting it at plus 100, positive expected value bet. And that is going to be my third and final college football betting pick for this video. So if you're tailing these three bets, comment and let me know. But that's it. So I appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.